Ambient happiness was a fun term to make up. So ambient happiness. So this was kind of an enjoyable thing. We came up with so this is not exhaustive, of course, right? This is a different thing. We've come up with 100 terms. In some cases, they're 2-word phrases, and found all of the tweets over this time period that match those phrases, right? So we get them all out, and then we subtract out. We remove that word. So some of these words, so life and health and sex, all of these words are pretty common words, and we have scores for them, but we take them out, right? And we're just going to look at the words around them, and we just put them in a huge big soup. Yeah. So we're taking tweets. We're taking all the tweets that match something. So we have all the tweets that match Stephen Colbert, and then we take all of the words around, put them in a big soup, and score those words. And so we get an ambient happiness. So these things are sorted by how they compare to the overall average for that time period. So the word happy is really associated with other positive words, right? So it's got a plus 0.43 there. So it's the words around happy are that much happier than the average score for that time period. Christmas is similar, right? So of course, and this is because of Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, right? They're being used a lot. Vegan, for some reason, is a pretty neutral word by itself, right? So, but it gets a real jump with this ambient score. That's kind of amusing. So let's see. We have by itself, it's a 4.82, right? It's a little bit below whatever, but it gets a big jump. And then we put in little sets of things, right? So this is before emojis. So we've got smiley faces, right? The one with the nose, and then if you go down, the one with the wink is a plus. It's in the plus, right? The things around that one are a little more positive. And then you get to these guys, and so they're associated with negative words. So they're in the right order, right? This is a more slightly complex emoticon. It's a little more ambiguous and it's snarky or whatever. But that was okay. You were going to ask her. This is so we've got some background, all these tweets, and we've got some average score for all of them. We've got a happiness score for all of the tweets, and then we're going to look at a subset that matches, Stephen Colbert. We're going to take all of those and look at all the words around Stephen Colbert and get a score for them, and then see how that compares to, how that compares to the background average. Yeah. Right. So if all of the tweets around Stephen Colbert are basically the same, they really kind of even out in terms of happiness, then it'll get a 0. But Colbert was a plus 0.126, right? And so that was a little set with Jon Stewart, who's up there, was slightly negative. And then we had Glenn Beck. So this is sort of the time, right? These were sort of 3 people we just chose. George Bush is here, Obama. It's just George Bush. So at the bottom we have Iraq, flu, mosque, which is terrible, Afghanistan, because war, Afghanistan war, right, is going to be there over and over, and Iraq war. So these ones have war in them all the time. I mean, we know that, right? But it's not good. It's true. If your country has war associated with it, for at least, and this is someone's specific, it's not great. Headache, drugs, gun, BP, which they had their oil spill. They were very naughty, right? So that was bad. Senate, just straight up, no one likes it. This is negative. And so I think the 0 point was around about, it's here, right, yeah. Right. And then these ones are more positive. Question mark, we looked at question marks. And exclamation points, yeah. Punctuation is awesome. And I think we did, yeah. Yeah, the smiley faces, there's the, right with the nose. That always pushes it down a little bit, yeah. Yeah, so you have, So we've got all tweets over some time, and they've got something. Yeah, sometime, whatever time period this is for. I think maybe it was for just a couple of years. You get some score for that. And then we're going to take out a subset of tweets which appear at different points, take them out, and then put them in a big box, and then take out the word that's in them, like Stephen called it, or the term, and we'll get a score for it, and then it'll be just, you know. Yes, that's right. So yeah, you've got this big soup of words from all the tweets, and then if you take a subset of them for whatever reason, right? You could take tweets on Mondays, you could do whatever you want. And if you take that subset, how does its overall score compare? And you can do whatever you want, right? Entropy, you can do lots of other measures, but this is good. Yeah, I think we had winter, summer, Sarah Palin's in there because of the time, rain, we had they, like us versus them, right? There's they and them. The slightly negative was us. I think we have us. Was me. Number 36 is we. Yeah, so I think there's that one. Maybe we didn't do us, but that was like, Oh, but us is US. That's a problem. I think that's why we didn't do that. I know the naming was very sneaky. RT, which was this big thing right then, right? Because you had to type RT. You actually had to pretend you were doing it. Yeah, yesterday is not so bad, but today is better, and tomorrow is also good. So the orderings are interesting. Yeah. Like, you know, summer is higher than winter, and those sorts of things. So this is then a way of getting like unsolicited opinions about places. Okay, this is the lexical side. So this is the complexity of these things in terms of this entropy measure. You don't have to worry about that. Oh, I know it. That's not right. That's not the right table. Sorry about that. So that was collapsing things. Just for that time period, this is how people scored. Then we could look at time series, and there's not a lot of variation in these, but there are things like Tea Party, for example, happy, some of our emoticons. This is Afghanistan and sad. So Afghanistan doesn't have as many words associated with it, but you can see it's like fairly stable over this time. For some reason we did sad and happy. You know, sad is here, happy's up the top. So not a tremendous amount of variation except for, you know, and this is a statistical problem, you know, Tea Party gets a negative thing here, right? So this starts to give you a sense that there's going to be I mean, that's a bit connected to the fact that it's being talked about more, right? That's the actual volume about Tea Party. But it starts to give you a sense that you could maybe get some scores out here. This is to show you that at least happiness and information content aren't really connected. So that's not a bad thing. And we're really measuring different things. That's useful to know about. What's that? What'd you say? That's true. We are lumping all of those people together. So this is where we need the story wrangler to sort out those two different groups.